Published 1949 EDT, the 22nd of October 2017. Updated 1949 EDT, the 22nd of October 2017. The latest Premier League weekend threw up some intriguing developments as Manchester City went 5 points clear at the top of the table. Their local rivals Manchester United suffered a shock defeat at the hands of Huddersfield, whilst Tottenham made a statement as they ripped apart Liverpool at Wembley. Here, Sportsmail gets the fans' verdicts following the latest weekend of action. Manchester United suffered a shock defeat at Huddersfield to cede ground to rivals City. Chelsea and ECB. Chelsea duffed. The result was tough on an outstanding Watford side, who at one stage should have been 41 up. Antonio Conte and his players demonstrated a resilience we have not seen in recent weeks to fight back to first draw level at 22, then kick on and win the game. This could be a pivotal moment in our season. Starman Michy Batshuayi. Watford. David Anderson. Golden Pages. Fanzine did not deserve to lose. You could even argue a draw would have been disappointing after the performance. We went into the game in fourth place and played like a team who deserved to be there, making Chelsea look average at best. Taking off Troy Deeney may have been the wrong decision as we lacked shape and leadership in the final 10 minutes, but I suppose it was about time some late goals went against us. Starman Abdoulaye Doucouré. Michy Batshuayi's header levelled the game with under 20 minutes left at Stamford Bridge. Huddersfield. Harry Greenwood. Better than Klopp. A historic day for this club. To a man, the players fought harder, worked harder and had more moments of quality than the visitors. The ever-impressive Aaron Moy finished off a devastating breakaway to see Town lead the Giants, and Laurent Depoitre was the complete centre-forward. Although United had most of the ball, they were short of ideas. Town's defensive work rate and discipline was second to none. A massive 3-point starman Laurent Depoitre. Manchester United's and the people's person. If you cannot beat teams like Huddersfield, you cannot challenge for the Premier League title. United didn't just lose, we were entirely outplayed. Jose Mourinho clearly has more work to do than we thought. Starman Nobody. Midfielder Aaron Moy fired Huddersfield ahead as they caused a big shock against United. Manchester City. Stephen Alvey's view from Abler. Our attacking play has grabbed the headlines this season, but defensively we have improved enormously. 6 clean sheets in 9 Premier League games tells a tale of secure dominance. This was functional from City. Our attackers struggled to find their spark, but we were comfortable nevertheless. John Stones was excellent again, as he has been all season, while Nicolas Otamendi was solid and chipped in with the key second goal. Fabian Delph continued his transformation into a surprisingly top-class left-back. Starman John Stones. Burnley. Tony Scholes up the Clarets. Most teams leave the Etihad with their tails between the legs, having conceded 5 or more. With over 70 minutes gone, we only trail to a hotly disputed penalty, and every suggestion of it being disputed is somewhat kind to Bernardo Silva and the conned referee Roger East. Defensively we did really well, and James Tarkowski was again outstanding. Nick Pope ensured this would not be another 5-goal afternoon for City. Sadly, 2 goals in quick succession ended the contest, and we were beaten by the side who surely are going to go on and lift the Premier League title. Starman Nick Pope. John Stones was excellent again, as he has been all season, in the win over Burnley. Newcastle. Tom Bouride. Newcastle on a day that marked the 100th game since an opponent was last sent off against Newcastle. Johan Cabaye was lucky not to see red in the first half. Fortunately, the refereeing error did not cost us, and Mikel Merino headed home from a Matt Ritchie corner in the dying minutes. Florian Lejeune put in another top-draw display, which was huge after his mistake last weekend. The confidence in this side is growing after each game, and the healthy points tally is certainly relieving the pressure. All eyes on the takeover now. Starman Mikel Merino. Crystal Palace. J. Crane. The Eagles beat disappointing not to follow up last week's big win at Chelsea with at least a point. We were the better team for the most part, and it was a sucker punch to concede so late and return to South London with nothing. Lots of football still to play, but we need to be picking up points. This was a game where points were dropped. Starman Mamadou Sakho. Mikel Merino has proved a shrewd recruit since his arrival from Borussia Dortmund. Stoke. Martin Smith. The Oatcake fanzine. It's hard to remember the last time Stoke delivered a half of football as bad as we saw in the first 45 minutes of this game. They were utterly dreadful. We were better after the break, but the hole we had dug ourselves into was too deep. It allowed Bournemouth to stroll to a far easier win than they could possibly have anticipated. The future of Mark Hughes is being discussed by supporters, and he lost more of his advocates after this defeat. Starman Joe Allen. Bournemouth Peter Bell Cherry Kimesa win. Yes, Bournemouth thoroughly deserved their first away win of the season. Mark Hughes said Stoke would be ready for Bournemouth, but they were not. Nathan Ake was the wall that Stoke City couldn't get past. Bournemouth fans will struggle to believe Andrew Surman is now their top scorer, and it took a big team effort to get through the second half. But just seeing Eddie Howe punch the air in front of the fans at the end was well worth the long trip in itself. Bournemouth had their mojo back. Starman Nathan Ake. Seeing Eddie Howe punch the air at the end was well worth the long trip for the away fan. Swansea Declan Terry Reid. Swansea 1 step forward, 2 steps back. It was a 4th home loss of the season, and the Swans went down a gear. Leicester caught us out on the counter-attack and could have bagged a few more if it wasn't for a handful of impressive saves from Łukasz Fabianski. We did show a little fight in the second half, grabbing a goal back through Alfie Mawson, but fell short in the end. This is becoming a familiar feeling at the Liberty Stadium. Starman Łukasz Fabianski. Leicester Warwick KLCFC welter win at long last. After a difficult week in which Craig Shakespeare was sacked and all the rumours about who may replace him, we finally got down to business and got an away win. The team put in a good performance with Shinji Okazaki back in the side and working hard as he always does. Riyad Mahrez looked closer to his best with some great touches and was much more of a threat. Onwards and upwards. Starman Riyad Mahrez. Shinji Okazaki worked hard at the sharp end of the Leicester attack as they won at Swansea. Southampton Aidan Small Fresh Saint Cisbram wanted to keep it tight, and our task was to try to breach 2 resilient banks of 4. It was never going to be entertaining, but for a side who have been so dull and void of inspiration this season, it's baffling how we can justify neglecting a player of Sofiane Boual's technical quality. That world-class goal could be season-defining. It's important in easing the pressure on Mauricio Pellegrino, boosting the confidence of Boufal, and the unity of the fans who have been starved of entertainment for too long now. Starman Sofiane Boufal. West Brom Alex Newton Reid. West Brom can it get any worse? 2 wins in 18 Premier League games, and surely Tony Pulis is on borrowed time. One of the most uninspiring performances you'll ever see from a mid-table Premier League side. Half the players looked championship quality at best. Grzegorz Krychowiak must be wondering what he did in a previous life to end up playing under Pulis for a season. Salomon Rondon and Jay Rodriguez look lost up front. The team looked void of ideas, and with a tricky run of fixtures, relegation is now a real possibility. Pulis has to go. Starman Grzegorz Krychowiak. Sofiane Boual scored a world-class goal Southampton fans think could be season-defining. Everton Joel Parker Toffee analysis. It's Groundhog Day at Goodison, another game without any shape or attacking ability. We played for the draw in our own backyard against a big side who are capable of slipping up. I didn't think it could get worse after Roberto Martinez, but Ronald Koeman has plummeted us into greater depths after such hype. Conceding 30 shots in a home game is relegation form, and it's completely unacceptable. Koeman out. Starman Nobody. Arsenal Peter Wood. Le Grava. 2 stories dominated the week preceding the game. Wayne Rooney's 15th anniversary of the goal, and Mesut Ozil moving to United. You knew the narrative would play out around those two, and it did. Rooney scored another fizzing long-range effort, but it didn't do much for a hapless Everton. Ozil stole the show, sitting at the heart of everything Arsenal. He created bundles of chances, scored one and set up another. Arsenal undoubtedly dropped the best performance of a spluttering season. Starman Mesut Ozil. Mesut Ozil celebrates as his side made their territory and possession count at Everton. Tottenham Barnaby Slater. The Football Republic Wembley. Who do not? Liverpool are a quality side who just won 70 in the Champions League in midweek, and yet Mauricio Pochettino's side put them to the sword with ease. Last year, teams like Liverpool, Bayer Leverkusen and Monaco would let us come at them, then pick us off on the counter-attack. This season Borussia Dortmund, Real Madrid and now Liverpool have suffered from Pochettino's realization that sometimes we're best suited to the counter-attack. This was a real statement from Spurs, especially with Manchester United having lost to Huddersfield yesterday. Next stop her Old Trafford. Starman Harry Kane. Liverpool David Usher. The Liverpool way. This was even worse than the 50 loss at Manchester City. At least that day there was the excuse of being down to 10 men. Liverpool would have been better starting this one with only 10 and leaving the hapless Dejan Lovren at home. The Croatian gifted Spurs 2 goals before he was dragged off after half an hour. Not that it made a difference, as Joe Matip and Simon Mignolet picked up where Lovren left off as Spurs managed to score 4 goals without even having to work for them. Unacceptable. Starman Mohamed Salah. Harry Kane celebrates his second and his side's fourth as Tottenham won 41 at Wembley.